Hi, James from Eastwood here. One of the most important upgrades you can add to your car is a larger braking system. And when it comes time to coating and protecting those components, powder coating is hands down the most durable option. It won't fade over time like paint, and is even .3 brake fluid resistant. Eastwood offers almost 100 colors, so you're sure to find one that matches your ride. In front of me is a pair of $200 remanufactured 6-piston Brembo brake calipers, which are a fraction of the price compared to the big brake kits available online that could easily cost thousands of dollars. These aren't shiny and new like the kit, but functionally, they're the same. This leaves you with a blank canvas to customize your calipers to match the rest of your ride. With that extra money you save, you could buy your very own powder coating gun, oven, and powder for future projects. Let me show you step by step how to fully prep and powder coat a set of brake calipers, taking them from a boring cast gray to something that'll really draw attention while adding superior protection. In order to get these calipers prepped, I first have to remove the pistons and seals, since they would not be able to hold up to the 400-degree temp needed to cure the powder. Removing caliper pistons is pretty much the same for every type of caliper. Clamp off the pistons, leaving one open at a time, and apply compressed air to the brake fluid inlet. This can be a slow process, but pistons and seals must be removed before going into the oven. Since these calipers were bare metal, I did not have to blast them, but if there's any type of rust or corrosion on the surface, they should first be media blasted. Now that the calipers are visually clean, it's time to remove any chemicals that still may be on the surface. I use the technique known as outgassing, which is simply heating them to about 425 degrees, slightly above the 400-degree cure temp, with hopes that any of the remaining contaminants will burn off. After about 15 minutes in the oven, I removed the calipers and allowed them to cool. I made sure to put them in a place where they would stay clean until I was ready to apply the powder. Once cooled to the touch, it's a good idea to put on nitrile gloves to keep oils from your skin off of the part. I then sprayed the calipers down with pre-painting prep to remove the last of the contaminants. Using high heat masking tape, I sealed off all the cylinders and plugged any threaded holes with high temp plugs. This is a must because powder is a high build coating, which has the potential to affect threads and machine surfaces. With all the required areas taped off, I hung the calipers from the oven rack using stainless steel tie wire and supported them from the Eastwood paint and powder coating stand. I'll be using the Eastwood dual voltage powder gun on the high setting since these calipers are more than a ½ inch thick in some spots. Setting up the powder gun is very easy because the 8-ounce powder bottles thread directly onto the gun. I attach the ground clamp where it will not be visible. You want to attach it directly to the part, not to the tray or hanger, which could result in poor powder attraction. The gun pressure should be about 8 to 10 psi, which can be set directly on the gun by turning the knob. Too high of a pressure could cause the powder to blow by or off the part. Too little, and it may not reach inside complex areas. Take your time and make sure you have achieved full coverage before putting it into the oven to cure. A common mistake when powder coating is judging the cure time, because you must wait for the part to reach 400 degrees before starting the 20-minute timer. To measure this, I'm using the Eastwood infrared thermometer. Once the part reaches 400 degrees, the 20-minute timer starts. Instead of leaving the calipers plain gold, I decided to add the Porsche logo on the outside of the caliper. With the oven preheated to 400 degrees, I evenly applied the decal and then put it back in the oven. I waited until the surface temperature was about 300 degrees and then removed the caliper. With the caliper still hot, I applied Eastwood gloss powder over the whole caliper and put them back in the oven for the full 20-minute cure. This is the final step of the process, and I'm really looking forward to how they turn out. After the calipers have cooled, you can see the complete transformation just from a simple coat of gold powder, all easily done in your garage. Applying multiple layers of powder can be tricky, especially if you're just starting out, so making a test piece will ensure you get the exact look you want. With Eastwood, there's no need to send your parts out to a specialty powder shop. Just click the link below to check out our selection of powder coating guns, powder, and powder coating equipment. You could be powder coating in no time. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more powder coating tips and how-tos. If this video wasn't enough, click the link in the description to access our growing tech blog with new articles every week.